I was tagged in this Am I the A-hole thread, and I have said before that when women create these Am I the A-hole threads, they are simply, or we are simply, just looking for validation for feeling normal human emotions. Let's look at this one. She says, Am I the a-hole for not telling my boyfriend I own the building we live in? She says, Hi, obviously a throwaway for privacy. Also, I'm new to posting, so I hope I do this correctly. When I was 18, my dad gifted me a house with 2 stories. I'm extremely thankful. We are not upper class, but my dad bought this house for a cheap price a long time ago. It was his grandmother's cousin's house. I know this was an extreme privilege, and I am forever grateful for this. The layout of this house is like an apartment, but it's a house. So basically, each story has its own separate entry, its own kitchen and bathroom. I live upstairs while I rent out the downstairs. My boyfriend, 25, moved in with me about 3 months ago, and we've been together for 6 months. I have not asked him for money, neither for utilities or to pay me any rent. The only thing he contributes is groceries that we split 50-50. I have not brought up that I own the building as it's not something I tell many people. If people ask me, of course I tell them that I own it. But if they just assume that I am a renter, then they can believe that. The topic of a landlord, the renter downstairs, or the owner of the building has not been something we talked about. This last Tuesday, the renter came up to tell me her freezer stopped working. I answered the door and my boyfriend heard us talking, I suppose. I went downstairs to take a look and we came to the conclusion that she would buy a new one, send me the receipt, and I would give her the money. She was very grateful for this solution. When I went upstairs, my boyfriend asked if it could be fixed. I told him no, but she was going to buy a new one and I would pay for it. He looked at me like I was crazy and asked me why the hell I would pay for her freezer. I told him because I am her landlord and the freezer was there when she started renting. I would stand for the cost. He just asked me if I was serious, to which I said I was. He began screaming at me, asked me why the hell I would hold this information from him and that I was an evil person. I said I was sorry for not telling him, but I did not think that it would matter. He said he could not believe he was together with someone who was a landlord, that all of us just use people for money, and the only thing we people care about is money and would rather have people be homeless than offering affordable rent. The downstairs is 1 kitchen, 1 bath, 4 other rooms. I charge them $500 in rent. I understand many people have trouble with landlords, but I try my best to be a good one. He demanded, he demanded that I, he demanded that I give him 50% of the money I make from rent, or else I was just as bad as he thought. Was I really the a-hole for not telling him? He has not talked to me since Tuesday, and I've tried telling him that I'm truly sorry, but he doesn't answer me at all. Y'all, I told y'all, women, when they make these Am I the A-hole threads, they're simply looking for validation for feeling normal. How is he demanding money at all? He's already living rent free. The only thing he is paying for is some groceries. I mean, that is a gift right there. Okay, let's get to her edits. Edit. Obligatory edit to add that I certainly did not expect this to blow up the way it did. I have tried to read as much as I can. Thank you all for your advice and support. I have talked with him and I will update later tonight when I have time to process everything that went down and try to write it out as best I can. For the people who was worried about my safety, I called my dad, who was set outside in his car when I talked with my boyfriend, and I am safe as of right now. And I hope it will continue that way. Thanks again to everyone. Update number 2. Sorry for the rushed update and the weird writing. It is explained in my update as to why. Thanks yet again. Now, I'm not going to get into the comments because she did create an update, so I'm going to go straight to the update. Okay, so she answers some questions. Why on earth would I charge $500 in rent for a place with 5 rooms? I don't live in the U.S. Neither is this place in the city. It is a place about 1 hour drive from the nearest city, 15 minutes to the nearest store. We are about 3,000 people who live here, but what we have is a preschool, 1 playground, and school for kids 6 to 9, and a church. The cost for other places with the same amount of rooms in this place is about $600 to $700. It could be a bit more if the place is newly renovated, have a nice view, have a garage, etc. Many factors play in. The building I own doesn't have a garage, is not newly renovated except for new floors and wallpapers in rooms that need change. So that's the reason why she's only charging $500. People in the comments claim that this story was fake. She addressed that in number 2. You can read that if you want to. So pause if you want to. And then number 3, why would you move in with someone after 3 months? He had problems with his recent living situation, told me about it. I offered to let him stay with me for as long as he needed or wanted. I did this as a nice gesture, as I did not want him to be homeless, and he expressed that he would feel like a failure if he moved back in with his parents. She got herself a hobosexual because she was nice to one. Okay, on to the update. I read as much as I possibly could after thinking about this, also about previous stuff I just brushed off. I decided I would break up with him. It may seem like an impulsive decision, but after everything, I felt that the sooner the better it would be. I texted my dad and explained a bit of it to him. I asked if he would be willing to drive to my place and sit in the driveway when I was going to talk to my boyfriend, and without hesitation, he said yes. I thought about what I would tell him and how I would lay it out. I was extremely nervous. About how it would go, and not going to lie, I was scared after all the people telling me I should be careful and that he may try to hurt me. When I got home, he was already there. I just greeted him, and he of course said nothing. I texted my dad. My dad got here, and I sat on the couch beside my boyfriend. He did not know my dad was here. I can't recall the exact details of the conversation, as my mind tends to blank out in stressful situations, but I will try my best to recite. Me, I think we need to have a talk with each other if this relationship is going to work. Him, so you are ready to apologize. Me, I will apologize for not telling you that I lived in my building, which I have apologized for many times already. I will not apologize for not giving you a part of my income. Him, and why is that such a big deal to you? If you don't rent out for the purpose of taking people's money, you should have no problem giving any of that money away. Me, I really tried to understand how you think. You think I am in it for the money and think I'm a bad person for renting out the downstairs complex, but yet you want money from it. Don't you understand that seems like you are in it just for the money? I rent out the downstairs for $500. If you really believe all landlords are money grabbers and not good people, would you like me to donate half of it to charities specifically for housing? Around here is where the calm, collected, and fine conversation ended. My memory from all of this is still all around the place. The gist of it is him telling me I was crazy for even thinking he wanted anything to do with the money for selfish reasons, that I should just trust what he says. He says he regrets ever meeting me, that he would make sure all my friends knew how I really was. He said that we were through. He threw my keys at me. He tried punching a hole in the wall unsuccessfully. By this time, I had already texted my dad, who came in to see what he was doing. My boyfriend just laughed and told us both he never wants to see us again and that he was out. I know this extremely, extremely rushed, but all this just happened so fast and was incredibly stressful. It was much more said and much more done, but in all honesty, I don't really have the best recollection of everything. I tried to write it all out, tried to write out all the important stuff, and if I, in a few days, have managed to take care of my emotions and calm myself down, I will try to at least comment and answer questions if you all have any for me. The conversation I tried to recite seems very cold and emotionless. In reality, it was more emotions. In other words, I just tried writing it out as best I could. Okay, she says she's safe. He can't come here. He threw his keys at me. He doesn't have them anymore. He's now my ex-boyfriend. I will contact him about getting his stuff. So he is mad because she's successful, and he just seems like a petty, jealous homosexual who is trying to get something that he didn't earn. Now, this leads me to this post that was going viral from this man named John Redcorn. Once a woman buys a house, it's over. She's undateable. She's undateable probably because she has something, and you can't control this woman because she always has her own place to fall back on. So some of these people, some of these peen havers, feel really intimidated when a woman has her own, and you have to simply be a normal, rational, supportive, reciprocal, loving person, and you can't use other things to manipulate and try to use tactics versus be a good partner. Y'all jump in the comments. Let me know what you think about this. Like, comment, share.